Early American spycraft. Say the word espionage, and all sorts of technological gadgetry comes to mind. Spy movies show satellites and tiny cameras as tools for capturing and sending information. Today's digital innovations offer a variety of techniques for getting top secret information. Espionage, however, existed way before satellites and cameras were invented. How then did early spies obtain and transmit information about enemy activities? A description of spycraft practiced during the American Revolution offers some answers. Ciphers and codes. The American Revolution, or the War for Independence, took place in the colonies from 1775 to 1783. In the colonies, loyalists, colonists supporting the British, and patriots, colonists supporting American independence, were neighbors and colleagues. They saw each other every day. Suspicious activity by someone on one side was easily observed and noted by people on the other. Often, observers would report on these activities to spies they knew who could pass along the information to officials. Patriot spies had a few different ways to safely transmit information to Continental Army officers. One of the most well-known was a numerical code developed by Major Benjamin Talmadge in 1778. New York's Culper spy ring used Talmadge's code book to transcribe messages about British troop activities in the New York City area. The code used 736 numbers to represent words, names, and places. A period was used to separate each number in order to avoid confusion. Using this method, the message "artillery is necessary on Long Island" would be written as 46.283.428.433.728. Obviously, only someone with the code book could translate the message. Just as obviously, anyone who was intercepted carrying a numerical message could be recognized as a spy. Chemicals and masks. Equally effective and less obvious was the use of invisible ink to write messages. Invisible ink was usually made from a mix of ferrous sulfite and water or from tannic acid. Spies used it to inscribe messages between lines of regular writing in an otherwise harmless note. To the naked eye, the secret message would be invisible. It was only when the paper was warmed over a candle or treated with another chemical that the hidden message could be seen. General George Washington advised Patriot agents to use invisible ink to write reports on the blank pages at the ends of old books. Invisible ink notes were less likely to be detected, which made them less risky for messengers entrusted with transporting the secret communication. An even more elaborate system for sending secret messages involved the use of masked letters. A seemingly innocent letter would be carefully handwritten. The person receiving the letter would then place a mask or cut-out template over the letter to reveal the true message. The message in the longer letter had to be laid out carefully so as to ensure the words of the true message would be translated within the cutout shape. As an added level of security, these communications were delivered in two parts. One messenger would carry the letter, and the other would carry the mask. Secret hiding places. Communications written in code with invisible ink or with masks were all messages hidden in plain sight. Sometimes, however, messages had to be sent to someone who did not have the tools needed to translate those types of codes. Sometimes urgency demanded that the messages be written plainly but delivered via secret compartments in everyday objects. Lydia Dara, a Philadelphia Quaker, was a Patriot supporter. When British soldiers settled by her home, she stopped by with refreshments. As she served the soldiers, she listened to their conversations. Lydia then transcribed what she had heard on small pieces of paper. Then she sewed the papers inside cloth-covered buttons on her son John's coat. John carried the messages to his older brother, who served under General Washington. Patriots weren't the only ones using hidden compartments. One of the most common hiding places used by Loyalist spies was feathers. Large quills used for writing were hollowed out. Then small notes were rolled up tightly and inserted into the quills. Loyalist spies also tucked messages into small silver balls, which could be easily swallowed by couriers if they were caught. Fakery and laundry. As a general rule, spies did not want their messages to be intercepted. That rule did not apply when it came to spreading false information. Some spies went out of their way to get caught. One such spy was James Armistead. Armistead was an enslaved African American who was permitted to join the Continental Army. Lafayette, his assigned officer, was impressed with Armistead's knowledge of the area. Lafayette asked Armistead to pose as a runaway slave and cross British lines. Lafayette supplied Armistead with letters containing false information about troop movements. Armistead's and Lafayette's trick worked and helped secure the colonists' victory at Yorktown. One of the most successful espionage communication methods involved a clothesline. Anna Smith Strong was a member of the Culper spy ring on Long Island in New York. Secret messages were hidden at one of 6 locations. Strong would use laundry hanging on a clothesline to transmit a signal whenever communications could be picked up at the locations. When a black petticoat and a certain number of handkerchiefs were observed hanging on the line, this indicated that a message was ready for transport. To British soldiers, it appeared that Strong was simply doing daily chores. Little did they know she was engaging in espionage.